I will talk about how we got this Platinum Social Partnership. We are META-INF, a Hungarian social partner of Atlassian, an Australian software company who creates products for team productivity. Who knows Jira or Confluence? Yeah, cool. So we are one of the social partners, and actually we are Platinum Social Partners, which is the highest level of social partnership. Only 50 of these are in all around the world, and usually they are large companies with over 50 plus consultants. And also we are verified vendors, so we build apps for Atlassian products. So the story of our badge. The quest is last year we were already Platinum partners, but we were only 4 employees. So that's a huge thing. The 3 guys actually made it 2 years ago, and they are really amazingly experienced Platinum Atlassian experts. But then last year Atlassian changed their mindset and decided that a Platinum Social Partner should prove that they have enough capacity and enough experience. So they said 8 people should have at least 4 exams. And these exams are really tough. I'm a Microsoft certified professional as well. So I have the comparison compared to Atlassian. And the difference is that for this Atlassian certification, it's not enough just to know the book. You have to understand the mindset. You have to understand why, what Atlassian wants to give to the customers. So in 1 year, we had to not just raise the number of people who we are, but also teach them and get them have all the 4 exams. And actually we made it. And not just made it, but we had a 98% success rate. So actually almost everyone had their exam on the first attempt. And we actually made by 13 employees, so it's not just 8. So how did we do it? Big question. And I could say the 2 things that we used is Diligence and Gamification. So I will give you some tricks and tips how we focused on this and how we managed to make it. And first of all, you have to decide to make it. It sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't do that. So when you try to do an exam, you say, yeah, that's tough, or yeah, I should do that. When you say I should do that, you won't, or you have less chances that you will do that. So we were lucky because our managers already had this the social partnership badge, so they wanted to keep it badly. It was a serious issue that they needed to make it, to keep it, and they really communicated it within the team. So the next one, which is my personal favorite, is to visualize it. So when you think you should have it, it's the best thing you can do is to think about it that you already have it. What I did personally, I gave myself my personal certificate in advance. And that's my Gmail actually, it was in April, I think. So in 3 months, I was watching it every day, that I am already an expert. I am already a certified professional. And it was underconscious because I didn't read it, but any time I was in my mailbox, it was coming to my mind that I am a professional certified. The next one is okay. If you visualize it, that's great. But you are, yeah, I'm already a professional, but I didn't do anything. I wouldn't get the exam. So what we did, we just mapped it out. So we brought everything, like really everything that we could, online, offline, from experts, from other people, from other social partners, to what we have to know. And we built up a huge database, a knowledge base, a mind map. And we used our tool Confluence, which is a knowledge-based tool, company wiki, which is great for sharing knowledge and keeping everything in one place. So we have everything, yeah, but you have to learn it, right? And what is a big mistake for a lot of people when they learn is then they learn it from one perspective. So you start learning and you do one thing, you read the book from first chapter to the last chapter, and you think, yeah, I know this, yeah, I know this, yeah, I know this. And then you go to the exam and you don't know that because you don't remember everything. And that's because how we work, how our mindset is working, that we create connections in our mind. And the more connections are created for something, the better your understanding. So that's why we approach the same thing from different angles. And that's how gamification came into this process, because it's hard to approach it from different angles. It's very tiring. Yeah, I have done it from this way. Shall I do this in another way? So you really have to focus on doing it very well. And my definition, or gamification for me, I've been in this field for a couple of years now, and I have some definitions, and you can find Wikipedia definitions. For me, gamification is all about engagement. It's not about fun. It's but all about how I should do something that actually I don't want to do, or I think it's hard to do. So how can I engage myself to the process? Who knows Kahoot? Oh, cool. So I'd like to share you some of my gamification ideas that we used. I still have a few minutes, but I have more than enough here. So that's why I brought you these cards. And everyone has their own 4 cards. Cool. So we will play it offline. Kahoot it's a great quiz where you can challenge people from actually a large audience. We have done that with 100 people, and it's really great. So everybody can use their mobile to answer the questions. What we can do now, there will be one question, and you can pick the card that you like. So the question, I have 6 gamification tools that we used, and I will share you the one that you like. We can choose the 4 top of the 4. So first one is a role-play game. We call it Tuesday Call. The second one is The Power of Habits, which is a card game. The third one is a Good Question. It's a quiz game. And the fourth one is Big Stand Up, which is a special progress bar. So for 3, I'd like you to raise your vote, and I will share you the one that has the most votes. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's challenging. I think it's green. Yeah, let's do the green first. Okay. So the green is Big Progress Bar, Big Stand Up. Actually, this is one of my favorites. This is nothing too difficult. It's actually a progress bar. What we experienced, we sat next to each other, and everybody had their earphones in, and everybody was learning. And nobody knew what the other guy is learning and how they progress and how you will progress yourself for the next day. So actually, I just created you can actually, as a company, usually have your progress bar and you have your stand-up. So every day you can do that, like what's your target for today, right? And then we discuss and share. What I have done, I have used a pig as a progress bar. So every day we had to decide how much of the pig shall we eat today. And each day we had this target, and we had their we have compared to the target. So actually this is not a big deal, right? But still it makes us engaged to the process because it's fun to eat the pig every day. So let's go back and still have another choice. if you want. 1, 2, 3.
Yellow.
Yeah, that's yellow, I think. It's a good question. These are questions similar to the real exam. And what we've done, we deconstructed the questions. We really wanted to understand what's behind the questions, not just rehearse the answers, but understand why is that the correct answer. So we built up our quiz, we made it really similar, but not exactly the same questions. And we gave it to the students, to the others. So actually everybody, after a while, so it was not the first thing in the process, but it was more like a test. So whenever some of the guys already had some knowledge, we tested them out, so we could just know how much they have already learned. What we've done is actually we hired an English teacher to find out which words are important, because it's really easy to, one of the questions were like a one-pager, and we had like 180 or something like that, a lot of questions in 3 hours. So we really had to read fast and understand fast. That's why an English teacher came to us and told us. But good questions are not enough without good answers. So we also had to find out why a question has a good answer. Thanks for that. Any questions?
How long did it take for you to pass all the exam?
For myself, for 40 hours each. So like it was not a 1 week actually, but it took like actually 2 weeks per exam. Yeah.
Everybody passed in the team?
Sorry?
Everybody on the exams?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you use this kind of like the big poster you were printed out in the office and put it into the wall, or was it on like a website or digital stuff?
Yeah. The funny thing is that actually you can do that in Power Pivot, a Microsoft tool. So you can actually map anything, like a plane but also you can also do any SVG files. So actually you can do that in Power Pivot. I didn't have that much time, so I just did a PowerPoint presentation and I manually add it every day. But that's a workaround. Yeah, please.
There's like a source, is there a source of games that you pulled from? So that, you know, if I wanted to gamify some learning of myself, but I don't know what kind of games to set up for myself, where can I go to find certain types of games that apply to certain things?
Yeah, actually, it's coming from here. But mainly because I have played a lot of games and I'm really interested in finding out what would make people do things better and faster, and also interested in doing it in another way. So that always comes to a different angle. But there are a lot of options, like there are books about progress bars and about leaderboards and badges. So there are some stack already that you can pick something from. There was another question?
Do you know the use of similitudes? Do you
Say it
figure
again?
out how to combine the certain set of formulation tools? Do you monitoring the usage of similitudes like Jira or
For this particular exam, you had to learn one particular tool, like Jira. That was one exam, Jira Service Desk. Another exam was Confluence, and another exam was Jira Software. So we had to focus on that. But also, Atlassian has this mindset that they are all integrated. So for each exam, you had to somehow learn a bit from the others as well. Yeah.
How do you feel that this learning together and testing together affected to your team? So do you feel that it became
Yeah, that's a really great question because it gave us a lot, not just the success, because actually the success came 27th December, so actually everybody was home with family. So the success was a secondary thing. The progress was the most important because we put together, we sat together and we learned together. And that's really a team building activity as well. Yeah.
I was listening when you were talking about this technique about visualization.
Yeah.
And it was a favorite of yours.
Yes. One of, yeah.
Still one of them.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, in my experience, when people they're really good at visualization in positive terms.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I prefer picture yourself as on the up. This is going to happen. I'm not moving. My motivation is done by everybody's. I'm going to be living the dream.
Okay.
I have a person who's over 75 years old. He's calling me once a week talking about who's going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
He's 75. His visualization is about being somewhere, and he's never going to make it. So my approach to it is to visualize you're not going to make it. It's going to be hard.
Okay.
Then you try harder to achieve it. What's your experience with this?
Yeah, that's a really good question because that's all about motivation. And there are there is a gamification framework, which is the Octalysis framework. I'm not sure if someone knows that. So it's all about there is black hat and white hat motivation. Black hat motivation is something that you talk about, that avoidance. I don't want this, so I have to do something to avoid this. And the urgency that this is important, that this is something that I have to do now. So that's why I do that, because I don't want things that are actually coming if I'm not doing it. And the white hat is another thing, is all about thinking the good part of it, why I want to do that, what will give me, what will make it happen. And the interesting thing, and actually both of them can work. But if you are only driven by black hat motivation, in the long term, you won't feel good enough about it because it's all about avoidance. You will have stress, that you keep stressing yourself. And some people like it. Some people have their adrenaline raise up when they are stressed. But a lot of people are much more efficient in the long term by having positive impacts of their life visualized. But actually, it's a very good thing because you can mingle them. So sometimes you need urgency, you need deadlines. So actually, we had to do that by time. So actually, that was a black hat motivation. And if we didn't have that time, I'm not sure we could make it on time because it's just not urgent, and it's really easy to just do something else. Yeah.
Sorry, I have a question. Do you feel that you made some mistakes or something you could change if you can do this whole process again?
Sure, because there are a lot of ad hoc things in these. So actually, I would do a lot better job if I could do that again, like not just manually updating this pig, but creating the framework so actually everybody can see it every day, or do that by day 1, not by day 15 or later on. So there are a lot of things that you can actually what we've done is not just we not just took the exams, but created a framework. So if someone is hired by us, he has the opportunity to take these exams much faster because we already have the questions, we already have some of the guidance, so it's like much more doing the job easier. Yeah.
I think gamification was like a
Yeah.
also not just for learning, but also for internal communication within an organization. But do you have advice on when it is really efficient and useful, or when it is really like too much and
Yeah, that's a really great question because a lot of people think that gamification is something that you buy on the shop. Like you You have your problem and you go to a gamification expert and you will pay for him and they will change your team and everything. That's not exactly this way, because it's really easy to do a bad gamification, really easy to make gamification that won't work. And that's because you don't understand the real problem, you don't solve the real objectives, you are not interested in actually who do you do that for. So if the target audience is like Turkish guys, they won't like this pig story. So you have to really think about, you really have to think about your audience, right? So I would say there are a lot of fields where gamification can work, but if you overdose it, people will more like playing it and not working. So you really have to balance that it's still not that fun that people are not working, just playing.
Okay, last question. Then thanks for your presentation.
Thank you very much.